No white comedian talk about no black woman as law.
Uh-oh. Somebody check on Gary Owen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Idiocracy Report, and happy Thanksgiving. My name is Kenan Jerome Floyd, and if you're looking for a Thanksgiving boyfriend, my prices are reasonable. Now that I have the ladies on my side, my favorite rapper Kendrick Lamar dropped a surprise album last Friday, and it took social media by storm. Now personally, Luther is my favorite track on the album, but everyone is talking about the first track, Whacked Out Murals.
Crazy, everybody questionable. Turn me to an Eskimo. I drew the line in decimals. Snoop posted tailor made. I prayed it was the edibles. I couldn't believe it. It was only.
Now I did enjoy the song, and it's interesting to hear Kendrick's perspective on sellouts in the entertainment industry, even though he's a part of the same system. Every black person that goes into the entertainment industry thinks that they're going to be Harriet Tubman or Nat Turner and change everything, when in fact, we either have to conform or leave. But now, thanks to social media, black entertainers and content creators can actually nurture and build our own audience from scratch. So thank you so much for supporting my channel. But I will even admit that even the algorithm pushes black creators to a certain form of conforming to be successful. You get a lot of views when you're doing something goofy, something offensive, or selling out. And in this economy, a lot of people are willing to do whatever just to get paid. One of my favorite elements of the song is how Kendrick actually referenced perceived image versus the work that's required to be put in so that you can gain the respect that you think you deserve. He said, "People thought I was antisocial when I stayed inside of my house. You better off to have one woman, everything tricky right now." Now I'm going to censor the words for algorithm and censoring reasons, but he said, "Sellouts love sellouts. They exist with them in style." You know, I was thinking, given everything that have been happening with Diddy and a bunch of exposure that's been going on this year, especially in the entertainment industry, it's kind of one of those things where I feel like he's referencing the people that knew that these type of things were going on. This type of corruption was actually going on amongst his peers, and everyone stood silent or they didn't stand up at all. Basically, not a lot of people had backbone to actually stand up for what was right. So this is the part that really caught everyone's attention. He says, "Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law." People start asking questions. They said, well, who is he talking about? Is he talking about Gary Owen? Is he talking about Amy Schumer? Or is he talking about that time that Andrew Schultz had shits and gigs on his podcast and this happened?
What is the black girlfriend effect? This is
Oh, you don't know about
just
this?
glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, like
Yeah,
clean
you-
shape up.
Yeah,
Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
Glows
I
the
like
fuck
that.
up.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking time. That's why they gotta shave their
Nah,
hair.
bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
They grow a
step-
beard
they step their
because
dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the fuck out of.
That's hilarious.
I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Yeah. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh really?
We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yo, who gets?
That means white.
Translation.
Kendrick fan.
Everyone assumed that Kendrick was referring to Andrew Schultz. Even Andrew himself, who responded. Take a look.
I hit Andrew Schultz about that. I think his reaction was, he's like, yo, is this guy too woke to understand a joke?
I really hate that we gave white people the word woke. If you didn't know, woke is a black word that's been used since 1930, and it was referencing the ability to be aware of social and political issues that affected the black community directly. You know, for our own protection. So when we actually are woke in its original term and we call out disrespect against our community, the white people who have co-opted the word are trying to use it against us by saying, are you too woke to understand my racism? Man, no alabaster person was saying this word prior to 2014. So you're saying that a man standing up for perceived disrespect is a bad thing? Well, you can take several seats, Andrew. But however, as a working comedian, I believe that anything can be talked about as long as it's funny. Now you have to start at the beginning, actually work on the joke, and it might not be funny until it is. But the only time I have a problem when people make jokes about black people is when they're not funny. And most of them aren't, because they usually lean into stereotypes and low-hanging fruit. And the people and you can tell that the people that are making these jokes really don't have black friends, because what they talk about lacks a ton of nuance or isn't based in reality. But to be fair, in 2024 and 2025, nobody is beyond jokes being told about them. So relax. And this usually happens every 2 or 3 years. Black women get on social media and they say that they basically want to cancel stand-up comedy altogether. However, in my experience, black women aren't the only ones that don't like jokes being told about them. Women in general don't seem to like jokes being told about them, especially by a male comedian. I've had many angry Karens jump into my DMs to tell me how disappointed they were in me telling jokes about white women. I mean, do we really tell jokes about Asian women or Indian women? I'm not exactly sure. I haven't heard too many offensive jokes about Asian women. I don't know. I mean, even if they did get upset, we wouldn't be able to hear them because they talk so quietly. Or we'd have to read one of their blogs or listen to one of their podcasts where they talk smack about black people, or wait for them to get their family to come in and buy our neighborhood. The only women that seem to have a sense of humor are Latinas. And I think I understand why, because Latinos are always roasting each other. Have you heard the nicknames that they have for each other? Their nicknames are based on the most unattractive part of that person's body. For example, a fat Mexican's nickname would be Gordo or Gordita. Nalgona is a nickname for someone with a big butt. Narizona is a nickname for someone with a big schnoz, which is kind of cool because it builds strong skin even though it might destroy your self-esteem. But I do agree. I think people now have grown more sensitive because of their constant exposure of negativity on social media and also in the mainstream media. And a lot of black people participate in this type of content on media as well. I see so many times people getting on social media and talking about how much they don't like either the black community, or they don't like black men, or they don't like black women, and how other races do it better, and how they relate more to people of other races, etc., etc. And look, I'm just going to put this on record by saying, if you spew hate about people in your community, generalizing them, and saying that other people from other communities are better, you're anti-black. Like, I'm sick and tired of us going back and forth and trying to have the selective outrage of what is anti-black and what isn't. Anybody that speaks violently and hateful about the family that they come from is anti-black. There's no ands, ifs, buts, or about it. You're anti-black. So I don't want no discussion. I don't want no but-ums. It's anti-black, period. Exposing yourself to that type of content will lower your self-esteem. It could potentially destroy potential relationships that you could have in the future. And it's actually pushing the unity in the community far apart instead of bringing us together. And the thing about it is that a lot of people don't care. A lot of people don't care about the unity in the black community. However, if a comedian tells a joke about black people, or black women specifically, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Even though I only hear 1 or 2 jokes about black women, with the exception of Saturday Night Live, Norbit, and Medea. But I see a ton of content on TikTok where people are saying that black men are worthless, or they don't take care of their kids, or they don't deserve to live. And to be honest with you, other groups see this. I mean, this stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. So they're taking the information that they're being fed on social media and mainstream media, and they're forming their own opinions, which results sometimes in jokes. Now, when it comes to jokes about black women, this is my question. What is your expectations of black men when there are jokes told about black women? Do you expect us to go up against a comedian who really doesn't have a black audience but millions of followers from around the world? Are you upset that we don't have a system that can effectively cancel this comedian's career? Or anytime when a comedian tells a joke about y'all, do you want us to get up and pull a Will Smith at every comedy show? 10,000 people in a room, but 9,999 won't slap you, but one will. I agree with Kendrick's sentiment, but at the same time, it's not that serious. If you're wondering where other groups might get these stereotypes from,
Everybody, look to your neighbor and slap the shit out of that.
well, I digress. If there's a comedian that you really like, go out and support them. Follow them on social media. Share their content. When they're in your town, go and buy a ticket. Actually show up to a show. If these are the people that you want to represent you, support their voices. Really go to a comedy show because it's not the same as watching them on TikTok or on YouTube. Trust me. And while we're on this subject, if you're in Dallas, Texas, make sure you come and check me out at the Dallas Comedy Club on December 15th. Doors open at 8:15. Show starts at 8:30. I will be joined by the hilarious Dicey Douglas, who you might have seen on the LOL Network and HBO, and Alvin Newsom, who you will be able to see on an upcoming show on HBO Max. Ticket link is in the description below. But do you agree with Kendrick? Are black women or black people off limits when it comes to comedy, especially if the race of the comedian is different? Do you believe comedians are able or should be able to talk about anything? Post your comments below, like, share, and subscribe. Be safe this holiday, and thank you for joining me for another episode of the Idiocracy Report. My name is Keaton Jerome Floyd, and if you don't come see me in Dallas, I will.